Like that's what's gonna end up becoming is you're gonna have to like drive through them and then walk through with your hands up just to get into your neighborhood. That's terrible, man.
No.
Can we learn anything from 9/11 about fear? Because we should not respond to it with unclear like strategy, right? We just throw shit at the wall, man. Like the TSA, we have to be wasting like billions of dollars. Well, I'm not gonna say that because I fuck with the TSA. Sorry, TSA. I like y'all. But let's be real. Let's be real. Come on now. Come on now. Not the US Postal Service, right? We didn't you could carry our mail and personal information and dump it if you want, right? But the HOA and TSA, man, I feel like they got some like legendary power, man. Like just like legendary. I literally watched a lady cuss somebody out in the airport. I remember thinking like, I feel like TSA. I don't look at them like going to the airport as a part of the government. They kind of blend in with the airport, right? So it should kind of be like customer service. People spend a shit ton of money to try to make a flight, have all these things going on, and these ladies were like just going in on them. You should have got here on time. I ain't got time for this. I'm like, dude, you are handling people that spend at least.
Oh,
like,
the TSA person was cussing somebody out.
Yes, they were like, and I mean, they were already like aggressive, like like I'm one of those people. I'm like, I know what it is. Let's just whatever. If someone says something crazy to me in public, I just look at him like I'm like stupid. I just be like, oh okay. I don't give him no attention. I'm not going to go in that. But this person like was like, I just asked, should I get this or that? And the person was like, I don't care what you asked for. It's too early. Nobody's listening. Get to the back. Get to the back. Jesus. I'm like, what? You should have got here on time anyway. That shouldn't be something. They need to go through customer service training. You ain't got to be an asshole to everybody to find maybe one part. And how good are they at finding shit? Like if they were like, dude, the TSA, nobody's getting through the TSA who's doing anything illegal. You would kind of respect it. You'd be like, damn, like they are serious. Kind of like state troopers, right? Like nobody goes at a state trooper. They're there to bust your ass if they pull you over. And they have a high level of doing it. They just arrest anybody that looks suspicious. They'll get everybody who's suspicious, if that makes any sense. The TSA, what are the numbers, man, for y'all to be going that hard? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
It just makes me think of, and it wasn't nearly to the degree of what you saw, but recently when we were going to the airport on the way back from a trip, and my wife, she brought a jar of peanut butter, and she checked it on the way there for our son to have snacks. And on the way back, it was in her carry-on, and she didn't realize until when she got taken to the side, and they got, oh, you can't have this. It's spreadable, whatever, right? And it's all well and good. And then I saw him just like slam dunk it into the trash can. That just seemed unnecessary to me. Like
in your face.
Your kid's peanut butter. There it goes.
Yep.
3 points.
Oh, kid's sad. Or like a $400 bottle of cologne. Oh. Somebody's playing defense with him. He shoots it over. And you can't say shit, man. You can't say anything. It's like the Stanley Milgram prison experiment. You give people power and enforce the power and authority on them. They will go potentially overboard as long as they feel like the authority will let them go overboard, right? Like we saw that psychology. It happens, man. I feel like it happens with cops, TSA for sure. Security, not so much. Like security guys are like, they know they roll. Like security guys will tell you, like, I'm not the cops. You need to go call the cops. Like, that's cool, right? We know what they are, but TSA is, man, Crazy. Next topic before I go on a tangent, because I will do that. We had another. We talking about entertainers passing. We had an ex-footballer by the name of is it John or Gene? Amici, is it Jean Pierre Adams or John?
Jean-Pierre Adams.
Yeah, Jean Pierre Adams. International. He's a former France, an international footballer who died at the age of 73. What's interesting about this case is that he was in a coma for 39 years, or the last 39 years of his life. And that coma was brought on by a surgery that happened that was supposed to be just a routine operation on the tendon of his knee. If you've ever played football or soccer, ACLs, patella tendons, quads, you do a lot of running. So this is something that's very common, most likely for most high athletes. And an anesthesiologist that was going to perform the surgery for him was looking after about 8 patients and was potentially overwhelmed. And that's what kind of her mishap sent him into a coma. So I thought it was a very interesting story.
But what was also important was that they were did you say the medical staff were on strike, and so they still went ahead with the surgery anyway, as opposed to saying, hey, you know what, we don't have enough people here. This is, I mean, it's important, but let's just hold off until we can get the right number of people here.
Right.
Kept going. Kept going.
And from what the article says, like he basically during the surgery, he was like poorly set up. So while he was under, there was tubes blocking some of the pathways to his lungs, starving him from oxygen, sending him into a cardiac arrest. That's what essentially started the coma. But to me, man, 39 years in a coma seemed odd to me, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I don't know much about his wife and the family situation. I know there was probably ongoing lawsuits, and I can only imagine how that lawsuit could, what his wife was experiencing or his kids were experiencing. But 39 years, man, I was talking to my wife. It's like, man, how long would you let me stay on a coma? She heard, answered straight up, not 39 years. I wouldn't last 39 years like that.
Well, his wife was still going to visit him every day.
She still did. That's what I said.
No, I think he was home, right? Or he was somewhere else. He wasn't in that hospital anymore.
Yeah.
I felt like I read he was home, or he was probably somewhere else. He was in a coma. He was probably like a skilled nursing facility or something where they're still able to monitor him.
But she would visit him.
Every day. Yeah.
And that is pretty noble. It's pretty noble, right? Like that's to death do us part. Bot surgery, athlete, super athlete. You're not expecting to go in, fix your knee, your kneecap, and come out with a heart attack.
They said the anesthesiologist assistant was monitoring that patient, monitoring Jean-Pierre Adams. And like I think they said in the case when it was brought to trial, because they were punished, but it was a very short sentence. I don't even know if they did jail time. But anyway, he said, I should not have been in that type of situation. I should not have been set up to take care of him. In nursing, not that you all know or care, but we have what's called safe harbor. I'm serious. Because if you find that you're in a medical situation where your duty to your patient is compromised by whatever's going on, then you can submit paperwork for what's called safe harbor, which protects your license and, at some point also protects you from any action that may happen because you're being put in this situation. And usually when you say safe harbor, then the whole place stops and they're like, okay. And what's going on? What do we need to do? Why we whatever? But it sounds
sort of like timeout. Is what you're saying?
Well, it doesn't
More
necessarily stop action, but it protects your license. It says that you are asking me to perform a duty in an unsafe way, in an unsafe condition, whatever it is, and this, compromises my duty to my patient. And so when you invoke safe harbor, usually what happens is, like the nurse supervisor, the house supervisor, everybody comes in like, okay, what's going on, what's wrong, and then they try to rectify what's happening, or maybe make some other decision. But I guess anesthesiologists don't necessarily have that. I don't know, but it just sounds to me like something that you shouldn't continue doing if you know you're in unsafe conditions. It's just
You said it's called safe harbor.
Safe harbor.
We cut to a meeting.
No, we're not gonna do no scene about safe harbor.
Hey, since we have been done that safe harbor training, we've noticed that a lot more nurses have been using, and I wanted to kind of see you in your wings, the nurses that report to you. What are some of the excuses that you think we should be accepting versus the ones that we should not be accepting? Give me some examples. Let's talk through this, because I think we still have to keep safe harbor, right? It works.
We have to keep it. It has.
We got to definitely keep it, but we definitely need to focus on the understanding for our nurses, right? We're getting a lot of people, saying a bunch of stuff. So just tell me what's going on so I can just make sure we have this safety of the hospital and the people that work for us under.
I have well, this is just an example. So I got one request for safe harbor in the neuro ICU, where typically the nurses have 1 to 2 patients max that they're covering, but we had an overabundance of neuro ICU patients, and so they were asking nurses to take 3 and 4 patients each. And so they submitted to safe harbor. And I thought that was legit because, they definitely couldn't do what needed to be done in that ICU. But on the other hand, I got a safe harbor request from down in on the 14th floor, where they're complaining because the corn chips in the vending machine down there aren't brand name, that we switched brands, and they don't like that new brand. And so they didn't want to work under those conditions. And I was like, okay, that's not it. That's not it. I've
been getting a lot of feedback about those Costco chips. I don't think it's worth the money that we save. I really don't think it's worth it. Some people like Lay's, okay? I don't like there's a difference between how much salt is on a Lay's chip and in a Costco chip. That's just my preference. But I get what you're saying.
Sorry, knock. Sorry, Tandy, do you know if they got that the chip thing sorted out yet? Because
no,
I thought we'll go back, to the brand name chips. I don't want to file another safe harbor.
I've got 6 boxes of Costco chips in there. I'm not gonna just sit there with boxes. We're gonna put them in the vending machines, and when they're running out, when we run out, we'll switch back to Lay's. But come on, guys, I just spent.
Hey, knock. Hey, yeah. Down the 14th floor. Oh, hey, Michi. Yeah, everything's come to a standstill waiting for this chip thing to get sorted out. Someone calls safe harbor, so it's basically the same as timeout. And
the patient supports you. How do you know? How do you know that the patient supports you?
Well, I mean, most of them are getting ready for surgery, so they're out unconscious. But the ones who aren't,
you have unconscious patients down there ready for surgery, and you're up here asking me about chips.
Well,
that's why we gotta get this
exactly. Let's sort this out. Let's get the.
Yes. This is a perfect example, Tandy. Let's all get this smokehouse and let's figure out how we're going to solve this problem, because we got to be memorial, right? We can't keep following the memorial. Let's figure this out, Tandy.
Their whole partnership with the Oreo Lay's people. So what? Okay, that's great. Good.
My cousin works there. I can get us a good deal.
We're nurses. Our duty is to patients, patient safety, patient care. That's our focus. Nurses.
So you're telling me, am I crazy? Are you telling me that you wouldn't save a patient's life by just getting them the Lay's chips that we're all asking for? I didn't think that was a big ask. But day after day it was unbranded chips, and I started to feel like we need some safe harbor up in here.
I don't know about you all, but I'm not gonna even make the decision. Okay, I'm submitting all of your names. I'm submitting your names to the state board of nursing. We're taking it up to the board. You guys let the board decide if this is a fair use of safe harbor.
That can't happen today, Tandy. We have people getting ready for surgery. We need a solution right now. That's why we pay you the money. All right.
We cut the Tandy meeting with her rep. Looks like you got a solid case here. Based on what you're telling me, you've been stacking these Costco boxes for days and days. You got 6 of you. You're looking to feed for your nurses and save money for the hospital.
The hospital put me on budget.
That's exactly in America. In America, you abide by a budget. You can't just go around buying Oreos and Lay's.
We cut to the court. All right, now, Tandy, it sounds like you are willing to have one of the patients come out here and test how well our nurses can perform their task eating a regular generic chip versus a Lay's chip that has a tad more extra sodium and salt on it than a regular Costco chip.
Your Honor, I know that the defense is we have defenses in this court, right? I know that the defense is claiming that the extra sodium helps keep the nurses alert during their operation, but I don't believe any sort of indication that has been proven. I don't abide by a piece of paper. I abide by America, and my client will agree.
Well, the hospital that they all work for luckily submitted me some diagnostics on all of the nurses on that day who had surgery, and it looked like their blood sugar was quite low, and they had very thin, very, very thin blood and somewhat dehydrated. And we found that with a tad bit more sodium in your diet, it allows to keep a lot more hydration. These are what the notes that have been submitted to me by my bailiff. Okay.
That's what my mom used to always say. So
we in the hospital. They could have that done there. What are they doing? Just
now, Tandy, I have right here a letter from the board that holds your license saying that they are fully committed to your decision, whatever that is, as long as you are right. If you are wrong, you must pay the HOA fees of this courtroom and all of the other.
And scene. And that is the Can't Tell Us Nothing show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to the people in chat: Benita, Cicely, Miss Nom Nommer. Miss Nom Nommer.
I love it.
Miranda. TSA's on some gangster shit. And anyone else?
You should get a shirt like that, Miranda, and say TSA on some gangster shit and walk to the airport.
But DJ Comfy, get them tunes ready. Everybody, pay your HOA fees and read your bylaws. We're out. See you next Tuesday. What was that?
Take care of your trees.
Take care of your trees. And watch The Wire if you have.
Watch The Wire.
Watch The Wire.
You out.